Hello, friends. This is Peter Herbeck. Happy Holy Week. Here we are about to enter the holiest and most solemn time of the year. The Triduum, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, the Vigil Saturday night, or the celebration of Easter on Sunday. And what a precious time of the year. And I just wanted to ask you, really share something with you that's been on my mind for a while. I mean, each year I kind of take up this theme, but for some reason I've been chewing on it more of late. It's a simple question. It's based on really following on a passage from St. Paul in which he describes one of the purposes for which Jesus died. So we're going to celebrate, we're going to be and walking with Jesus on Good Friday. And, many of the saints ask this question, and it's important for us to do. Jesus, why did you die? Why are you hanging on that cross? And there's many ways we can answer that question. He died to take away sin, to break its power, right? And he died to take away the power of death. Death comes through sin. All men sin, therefore all men die. He destroys the power of sin and death. He brings down the kingdom of Satan. He disarms the principalities and powers. And on the cross, he makes a public show of them, Scripture tells us. He's loving you and he's loving me on the cross. A couple of videos ago, I mentioned that really I think the centerpiece the biggest thing is he's loving the Father. He's giving to God what belongs to God. From a human heart, he's doing justice to God, right? And it's an act of love, of radical trust and abandonment of Jesus to the Father, totally belonging to the Father, totally trusting him. And that act of love is what brings down the pride of the kingdom of darkness. But there's another reason. Paul describes it this way. And he died for all, that those who live might live no longer for themselves, but for him who for their sake died and rose again. They no longer live for themselves. That's why Jesus came, actually to give us the power and the capacity to live now the life for which we were actually made in the first place. To love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, to come into a life with God. Now, it's a battle for us. We're easily deceived in this world. The devil's strategy, right? It's there from the garden on. Well, can God be trusted? And if I go all in, what's that really going to look like in my life? And is it going to just make me weird? Is it going to kind of ruin my weekend? I kind of like where I am, sort of. We like living in the twilight, a friend of mine used to say to me regularly, between the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness. We want to make sure we have one toe in. We want to make a little bit of a deposit to make sure that, but we don't want to go all in. And what's really important for us to understand, friends, if we're in that place, and that's part of the battle, and pretty much most people start there, maybe everybody starts there. But we have to come to terms with what the Lord is actually doing and what he's offering us and what he's calling us to. Otherwise, we miss most everything that he wants to give us in this life and what will lead to a life in glory with him for all eternity. He said, you have not chosen me, I've chosen you. That's why you're beginning to pay attention to him, because he chose you. The question is, does he have your whole attention? And does he have your whole heart, mind, soul, strength? Right? He said, I've chosen you to bear fruit that will last. It's the fruit of the kingdom. It's the kind of fruit that he bore in his life, and the apostles did the same. We can say, I'm not sure exactly what that means, and, I'm not as strong as other people. I'm not sure. Jesus is saying, look, if you get serious about this issue, we're describing here today what Paul's describing. He died that those who live might live no longer for themselves, but for him. If you decide, Lord, I'm a weak man. I know I have one step forward, one step back, but I want this. I hear you calling me. I want to live totally for you, but I don't know how. And I'm afraid I don't have the power. That's a great place to start. Because he knows your frame. He knows your limitations. He knows how weak we are. but he promises to be with us and to lead us step by step, because he's passionate about you bearing fruit in your life that will last for all eternity, not something that will just fade away or will be judged at the end of time, but it'll be judged according to the mind of God. And if it's fruit that flows from your union and your yes with him, it will be fruit that lasts forever, and he will declare it to everybody in the kingdom. You'll be rewarded with a great reward. Not only the life shared with God, but he's going to say, Father, look at how Susan, look at how Bill, look at how Linda, look at how they kept saying yes, and look at what they've produced, right? Fruit that will last, kingdom fruit. And it will vindicate, really. It'll prove as we stand on the judgment day, we'll stand and say, did I really love him? Did I go all in? Remember, doesn't like lukewarmness. He doesn't like half in and half out, right? He said, it'd be better if you're hot or cold, but don't be lukewarm. Don't go half in. He'll spit you out of his mouth, because that's not, he wants us to respond the way he came for us, with all out love. And he wants to give us the grace to live with all out love and to reward us and give us the opportunity to live with him forever. So let's not fool ourselves. Let's not pretend and compare ourselves. Let's ask ourselves just with raw honesty, where is my heart? Where is my decision? Am I all in? And who is it that I'm living for? This is simply the answer, friends, to the question, to whom do I belong? It's a theme I like to talk about every once in a while, because it's really critical for us to get there. My whole life belongs to God. And that's good. It doesn't cost me. It doesn't hurt me in the long run in any way. It actually leads me into coming to know the person I was made to be, and what Jesus is after is our salvation, is our eternal happiness, and great, great fruit bearing for the kingdom in this life. You can become a saint. That's what he's calling you to. But you have to make that decision and own it every day of your life and watch what he does. Friends, just want to remind you again, a free booklet, Does God Judge? I just wrote. You can look on the screen here. We'll send it to you for free. But I hope you can pass the word on these YouTube videos if they're a blessing to you from Renewal Ministries. Keep spreading the word. God bless you. Have a happy and holy Easter, Holy Week, and then Easter week. God bless.